Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by our boy, Too Sharp, British champion. Last time we spoke to him, he was in Ghana. Now he's back home, and we've got an awful lot to discuss, my friend. How the devil have you been?
How the what?
How the devil have you been? You know, that's like, that one of them old English greetings. How the devil are you?
Oh, I'm alright. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Splendid.
Yeah,
Splendid.
splendid, splendid.
Splendid.
What you been up to?
Just training, man, and home and just watching box series and all that stuff. Not much you could do in it.
No. Right. Let's not beat around the bush, okay? Because now you're British champ. You have
Champ is here.
yeah, you have obligations, and now they're talking, obviously Big Frank won the purse bids for you and Felix. Now, should we just go over some comments that were made on one of the many outlets? I think it was Boxing Social. Let me read this to you. Now, my eyes are dead because I'm old, but it says, regarding the opponent Denzel Bentley, I am levels above him, and if I'm going to do the things that I do, I think that I'm going to do in this sport. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. I should be able to dispatch opponents like him very easily. Now, discuss.
He's meant to say that stuff, isn't it? He's meant to.
Yeah. Of course he does. Of course he
putting
does.
pressure on obviously himself, saying things like that. Obviously, that's up to him if he wants to give me credit or not. That's up to him. But who I won my British title off, and who we won his Commonwealth title off, if you compare the two, listen, I don't really think I need to say anything. So
no. I mean, the full interview. I watched it a little while ago, and listen, I'm not here to stir up shit, and I'm not up to be like, oh my god, do you hear what he said about your mum, like schoolyard stuff. But it was very dismissive, like of the win. That for all of us, we saw you tear up Heffron bad. We saw that, and I understand he's selling the fight, and he's got to be a little bit just like, whatever. I'm the G, but like from a professional perspective, do you not get a little bit like at least some like an acknowledgement of some sort?
No, not really, because I just know, he's just being a weirdo, isn't it? He doesn't want to give me the credit that I deserve, because it may downplay his thing, or it may give people the reason to feel like the fight's closer than it is. He's trying to dismiss it. So maybe, I don't know. So maybe in his mind, he feels like, yeah, his level's above if he doesn't, admit it out loud, or maybe he really sees it like that, or maybe he's trying to dismiss it so that people don't think it's a better fight than it is. So when he doesn't take it, it doesn't look as bad, isn't it? But it is what it is. Like, it doesn't bother me. I know he doesn't really like me like that anyway. So
wait, let's circle back. When it, like, do you not think he's gonna take the fight?
I have a feeling they won't, but if they can't get the European, then it's just the only fight they can take, innit? But I think they're going to try and get the European, hence why they haven't said anything about it yet. Because they're thinking, if you say anything about it...
I believe the European champion, he's, 3 years younger than Larry at 41, and he's 42.
He's coming for you, boy. Shit.
Yeah. Now, the European champion's he's a vintage, and he's a senior performer.
Yeah, he's 41-year-old, isn't it? So
yeah, sure. I mean, that would be for sure the easier one to be taken. All right. Yeah.
So I won't be surprised, but at the end of the day, until anything's signed, and obviously nothing's happening. But in my mind, that's who I got next. But
yeah,
if it's not who I have next, I won't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, look, if it's not who's next, then it'll be down the road, highly likely anyway, right?
Yeah, provided we both do well. But if he just keeps taking opponents like the guy who won the Commonwealth title off, or the European champion, then maybe not, because what direction is he really going? But at the end of the day, I think he's a good fighter. I'm not going to sit here and try and dismiss what he's done. I don't need to do that. I could admit someone's a good fighter and still feel like I can beat them. So
yeah,
I think he's a good fighter. Yeah, and if it does happen down the line, or now or whenever, it's always going to be a good fight.
Are you? I mean, are you ever? you and I have discussed this on DM that I'm known as the Ja Rule of PT, right? And he has a very famous song called Clapback. Are you ever dun 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 dun? Are you ever tempted when you see this shit just to be like, oh, I'm gonna take this to live?
No, you know what?
I'll do
I'm
it for
not,
you.
Because I just know. I know you will. I just know he's just chatting, isn't it? He's just chatting. So it's not really a issue to me. I don't really take it to heart. I don't really take anything too personal, because it's like you are just talking.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm easy, man. But the banner comes. I think I've got quite a good banner. So
yeah,
I'll be all
right. Are you? I mean, he is of traveller stock, I believe. Right, I believe he's of a traveller background, and they're a little bit fiery, no? Like a little bit just on the spicy side. Do you reckon that if it gets to the stage, and there'll be like some forehead action in the weigh-ins?
There might be. I can imagine so, especially where there's a little bit of history behind, the two of us and stuff. So we sparred before and stuff, innit?
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Ended up
sparring, right?
It ended up in a little bit of tossing and turning on the floor on the canvas. Yeah.
What happened there?
He just started being dirty. Like rubbing his head in my face, punching low, and getting frustrated. I think I was pinging him a bit too much, and then he just started getting a bit frustrated. And then I put him in like a headlock. He lifted me up, dashed me on the ground. We're rolling around the ring, screaming at each other. I got pulled out of the ring, all of that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, good times, went a little bit UFC double quick. How did that? Like when they separated that, how did that come about? Was that literally just people just rushed in the ring and pulled everyone apart? It's like, right, this is done now.
I got pulled from the bottom rope from my leg out the ring. That's how
UFC WWF moves.
Yeah, I just got pulled out by one of the coaches, and they just picked me up, took me to the next room, and we were just shouting from across the room. I'm gonna get good days, good times, man, good times.
No wonder Frank properly paid up for the money, because he's gonna get the promo, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like, we got a show on our hands here.
Yeah. Wicked. Right. Well, like it's a massive fight. Like, because you're our boy. You we ride and die. We're one of them ones, right? Cash is a good fighter, like you've said. He is a good fighter. He's aggressive. He's fast. He's fucking bodied out. I know that's a little bit gay, but hey, I've got two little girls. I've seen too much, right? Whatever. It's a massive fight on the UK scene, and like now the middleweights are coming up in the UK even more so. Like, Liam Williams has got his bout with Boo Boo. That's a big bout, right? For Liam, like I'm not sure how that goes. He could very well be like the perfect foil for Andrade, because he's just so aggressive, isn't he? And you don't give you any time or any space. But then if anyone's going to deal with that mental style, it would be Andrade, right? It's like a decent kind of little vibe that we got. Notice that Eubank Jr. didn't mention your name, did he?
Of course not. Why would he?
He mentioned everyone else. He gave everyone else a little shout, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm playing. Now, Eubank Jr. is a good fighter, man. But one day we're coming for that guy.
I mean, he's just a little bit different, isn't it?
Say again?
He's just a little bit different. Like he just rolls a little bit odd.
He tries to act like he doesn't see what's going on in the scene and stuff. But
yeah,
he very well knows.
Of course he does. How do you feel about obviously we've had a return to boxing. Did you watch last week's?
Yeah, I did. To be honest, I turned it off after the Zelfa Barrett fight, because I just thought Josh Warren was going to run through the other guy, and then I had to go back and watch it because obviously I heard differently. So yeah.
Let's start with that one. What did you think about the Zelfa fight?
I've said this already. I'm a Zelfa fan, innit?
Yeah, I am too. How can you not be?
I think he struggled in that fight. I don't think he boxed to the level that I felt like he's going to box at. I felt like Kiko Martinez actually showed that he's still, a name in the sport, innit? He showed he's still very competitive. So
Fact.
He done his thing. I did think I felt Zelfa was coming on strong towards the end when he started planting his feet a bit more and throwing some bigger shots. But to be honest, if Kiko Martinez won, I wouldn't have said anything. I'd have been like, yeah, I think he did win. But I think the 118, 111 card spot it for everybody. Like,
yeah,
he spotted the whole fight. No one's even talking about the fight no more because it was a good fight. But I think Kiko Martinez, like, I would have thought he would have won that, but I would have been surprised if it was a draw or he won.
I mean, how much of a worry is it that's the sort of stuff that's the kind of dirty that you get against someone? For I know obviously Frank won the purse bids, but if it was the other way around, you're on a matchroom card, you're on a matchroom show, would you be like, I've got to stop this geezer to even think about getting a decision? Because that's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, 100% that's wrong. And like, I think some people stated online and stuff, we're turning into them countries like, you know, when you go abroad, like Germany and stuff, you say, yeah, if you go out there, you got to get a knockout to get a draw and all that stuff. We're turning into one of those countries, isn't it? That I think ever since like the behind closed doors thing, things have been a bit shaky. I don't know whether like, you know, the judges, you know, ain't paying full attention to the fight. They might just zone out because the atmosphere is a bit dead, or maybe the crowd isn't swaying a bit of opinions and making them feel like, oh, he won that round. Because some of the scorecards we've seen, like this whole period of like behind closed doors has been crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It's been bad.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing at the minute, we're doing research because we're doing a whole episode just on the belts and the history of the belts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I know what them boys get paid now, the judges, right?
Okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad cash for sitting there doing fuck all, right? if they're sitting there and their main indicator of who wins the round when they're not paying attention is the crowd noise.
Yeah, fuck now, yeah.
That's even out. That's liberties.
That is bad, but the crowd sways a lot of opinions. Like,
of course it does.
Like even the ref, it does. Like, say for example, yeah, the Josh Warrington fight. He was gone on his feet, bro. He was out. If the crowd were there screaming as it was getting moved to that, the ref might have been more on the edge. Like, oh, what is? It's getting hot here. It's getting hot here. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not a ref, but I'm just assuming here. And he might have jumped in early, or maybe he stopped the fight, because even when they walked back to the corner, I think Josh Warrington even fell into him before he ended up going into his corner.
And then the rope as well.
Exactly. And I don't know what, like, he was gone. Like, to be honest, you can't even just blame the ref for that, because the ref's giving him a chance. Obviously, he was the champion. You're thinking, okay, this guy's the champion, come to the fight, give him a chance. His corner should know him. His corner should have been like, yo, we're not letting you back out there. You are done. Like, you're gone. Like, he must have not been responding well in the corner, or maybe he was. That's why they let him back out. But his corner should have really been like, hey, there's no point, man. You're gone on your feet. Like, just we'll get the rematch another day. Do you know what I mean? But
if the roles are reversed, that fight would have been over in a second. Like, if that 100%. Was
because everyone expected that. Everyone's in there thinking, oh, cool, watch out for the safety of Lara. He might get hurt here. So if he was to get hurt, they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's it. We knew this. But because no one was expecting Josh Warrington to get hurt, obviously the mindset's different. It's like, all right, give him a chance. We know what he's like. We know he's tough. We know he's a warrior. And that's the thing. Boxing in the UK, the officials more or less know you.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's had the same official more than once. Whether it's judges or refs, whatever, they had them more than once. They've seen you fight. They know you. They've seen you fight all over, especially when you're a big name like that in the country. Seen you fight on telly, seen you fight live, seen ref your fights. They know who you beat. So I guess that kind of sways them as well a little bit. Like, oh, we know this guy's tough. We know him. Nobody knows Lara. So let's look out for Lara. Let's make sure he's safe. Let's make sure he don't get hurt here. We know Josh Warrington. We know he's a warrior. We know he's tough. We've seen him beat Carl Frampton. We've seen him beat Lee Selby. We've seen him beat Galahad. Seen him beat Kiko Martinez. We've seen him beat all these guys. We know he's tough. Lara, on the other hand, let's just make sure, we do our job and make sure if he does get hurt, he's safe. So I think that kind of sways it a little bit, where they know the fighter and it's like, oh, we know this guy. Like, we know he's tough. Give him a chance. It might not be on purpose. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like, you do it subconsciously.
Yeah. But we were saying too, like, it's the same with Dubois. It's like, what do you want? Do you want to see another, like when the crowd was going mental and all, oh, blah, blah, quit and did this and that? It's like, listen, do you want a round with a potentially career-ending injury, or do you want to call it a night that night and then have plenty of other nights? Hey, it was the same with Warrington. It's like, for a few extra rounds, you might do some damage to him that are going to last for the fights to come.
And that's why it's crazy. That point you made just there is mad, because, for example, like you said, Dan, when he realized he had enough, he said, all right, cool, you know what, I'll live to fight another day. And everyone's getting mad. Oh, he's a quitter. You shouldn't quit. Let your team pull you out. Let the ref pull you out, blah, blah, blah. Then
Yeah.
Warrington now. Oh, the ref should have done this. The team should have done that. Well, if the ref doesn't see it, you got to take matters into your own hands, isn't it? Like, the ref might not think you're hurt. Your corner might think you're all right. You're going to tell your corner you're all right. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to say, yeah, I'm all right. There's no way you're going to tell your corner, I'm fucked right now, and they're going to put you back in that fight. There's no way.
Yeah.
It's in your corner, you're right. And that, so any little thing, like I tweeted the other day, every little thing in boxing we complain about. If someone's had enough, let the corner ref do it. If the ref or the corner don't do it, you're not proper, you're not good enough, you guys are disgrace, it's disgusting how you let people get hurt. When Daniel was hurt with the eye, you're like, no, you can't get out, bro. You got to stay in there. Someone else has got to take you out. But why is that? Why should he make that decision someone else's? Do you know what I mean?
And you know, the people saying that had the beer rested on their beer belly, you know, never been in the ring themselves. So I was like,
popcorn all over their top and that. Oh, you should have stayed in there. Stayed in there. I
would have fucking done that. Shut.
Do around on the pad. Don't hit you back.
No, basically, I was just sitting there. I was actually with Ian at the time. I was just saying he just needs to jab more. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't even watching the screen. I was just telling he just needs to jab more. You know, a little bit more head movement.
300 jabs in a round. That's not enough. He needs to jab.
Yeah, exactly. For real though, like what is the monetary amount for you to potentially lose an eyeball? Because it's quite a lot for me. You know what I mean? Like Dan made the right call. Like we said on the night, like it was like the way that he stopped it there and then abruptly. There was clearly something going on. That wasn't 100%. A quit. That was like a. I mean, you don't take the shots from Joyce for what is it, 9 rounds, 10 rounds, and then randomly at one point just go, right, no, I'm done now.
Yeah, right? Especially when something
happened.
Like he was doing great. He was in that fight. You knew the thing that surprised me that night was the pundits and champs and stuff. Some of them saying it too. It's like, I get it from the people who don't know fuck all, but I was surprised. And the next day, obviously, they're like, "Oh yeah, we got it wrong." It's like, yeah, no shit, you got it wrong. Like, how do you even think?
One thing is, with people, that I feel like I've realized is everyone just likes to try and say the same thing at the same time, or try and say it first.
Yeah, that's true.
If everyone's saying one thing, he quit. He quit. While we're all on the same page here, then when they actually get time to think about it, they're like, oh, you know what? Maybe he didn't. But it's like, why didn't you just think first? If you want to be first to tweet, you didn't want to think about what you were saying. Think about what you're saying before you say it. But you're trying to be first to say it. That's what it is. If that was me, I'd win out on my shield. Well, listen, we've seen fighters go out on their shield, and they're not the same no more.
Yeah.
No.
And every time a fighter fights, they go, we're in there risking our lives. We're in there doing this. We're in there doing that. We want to come back healthy. We want to come back home healthy. But then you're talking about going out on your shield. Which one is it? Do you want to come back home in one piece, or do you want to go out on your shield? Because they're two different things. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. What Daniel done was chose to go home healthy to his family and make sure he was home with his family. But it's a sport. It's not. This isn't like olden days when you just fight to the death and shit. Like, bro, it's a sport. Like, it's a sport.
That's it.
Compete. That's all it is, isn't it? Compete. I get people want to see you show a bit of heart and stuff. But if his eye went in the 3rd round and he went to the 10th round, that's as much heart as it gets. Yeah, exactly. That's as much heart as it gets. But people just want to be able to just say things first, and then the next day everyone's singing a different tune, and it's like, bro, just yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, you were talking like this guy's finished. He's a finished fighter. He's washed up. He's a quitter. He'll never be a champion. Then you wake up next morning and think, oh, maybe I was wrong here. Like, come on, man, that's weird. Like you said, ex-fighters and pundits and people that have been in the game saying these things, you're all weird because the guy's got two fractured whatever and nerve damage.
Yeah.
2 fractures in his eye socket and nerve damage. Come on, man. Come on. What's you meant to do? Just keep getting hit by Joe Joyce that lifts 10,000 kilos in a deadlift.
Yeah. You just don't need it, do you? And them jabs were just so salty, weren't they? They were just douche. They were like Big Brother. Yeah. They were just Big Brother punches. They weren't there to do anything other than just like deaden you.
Yeah.
You just like
he's heavy-handed. He's a big guy, heavy-handed, and I think to myself,
biggest head I've ever seen.
He's got a massive head. He was holding some shots. He just tipping over, coming straight back. Like, I know why they call him the Juggernaut now. You know, when you're playing Call of Duty, you're trying to kill the Juggernaut. He's not going nowhere.
No. Well, I'm 38 and I've got 2 kids, mate. I've got no time. That's not going to happen. I sometimes I just look out at the neighbours that are playing computer games on their tellies and just longfully watch them until they call the police.
Yo, man. But Joe Joyce, listen, he's a big guy. Like, Dan might weigh about 17, 18 stone, but his eye doesn't. His eye is the same eye as mine. Same eye as mine, same eye as yours. if that keeps getting hammered down, come on, man, like.
Just like we said, like the next week, people will be talking shit about some other fight. That eye injury is still there, you know. So for the sake of like a couple of days of people who don't know shit, talk that on the scale of things means nothing compared to the longevity and the health of the guy. Like fucking 100%. Hell.
Like he's 23 years old. Do you really want him to end his life at 23 years old?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like he ain't lived half his life yet.
Like, Denzel, you're his friend, right? Now, at what point did you have to intervene when he made the video of being on the bike in 2020? I took my first professional loss. It was who decided that let's not do this, right? Let's not be filmed doing a spin class, doing a little bit of shadow lighting to make it a little bit dark. Like, respect, I understand everything that you've done there, but be the guy that doesn't speak.
No comment.
Yeah.
No comment, no comment, no comment, no comment.
Yeah. We've all seen stuff our mates have done and gone, oh, that's an own goal. But like back to the Warrington one though, right? So he obviously copped it bad in the fourth, right? As he come out for the fifth, his legs were still like gone.
Yeah.
From yeah, I mean, and that's his dad that's in his corner, right? So that's even good. Yeah, but it might work. It's going to be like a really binary thing, isn't it? He's either going to be like, I'm willing to see him go out to the death, or that's my boy and I can't handle that. And I would imagine if it's that's my boy, I can't handle that, then he wouldn't be in the corner at all. Because that must be one of the most stressful things of all time to see your kids fighting. Right? So I'm going to assume he's going to be down the other end of the coin. Right? So that's it. Like for me, it was mental because even after the fight, Streets and I spoke about it. Even after the fight, he was standing over his son with oxygen on the floor with his hands on his hips, like mugging him off. And it was just like, bruv, relax.
Yeah, he does. He's got to be a hard man. Fucking hell, that's some tough love out there. You're probably getting onto him more about like his boxing, saying, "Well, why did you fight like that? You got into a tear up, you done this, you done that."
You're walking home. I'm not giving you a lift home. You're walking home. You can get the train.
Walking back to Leeds.
You go and speak to your pal Eddie. Fucking, he'd get you an Uber. Oh, you ain't coming with me. It was a lot.
That's the thing, though. I think he overlooked Lara. I think he felt like he was going to use Lara to try new things. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, he started boxing in that fight, and it was like, you don't box, bro.
Nah, this is not for you.
You fight. You should have went in there and put it straight on him, like he did with Selby, like he did with Frampton, all of that. But I think he went in there and tried to move a bit. Well, to be honest, he got hurt early. He got hurt early and then tried to move a bit and tried to move him, bounce around here and there. And he should have just stuck it on him, to be honest. It might have been a different fight. But
you could see that like Lara had different power, right?
Yeah.
Because like we did this on our last episode because he's off balance. He doesn't punch with any real seeming speed or technique. But whatever he does, he's just so unbelievably dependent on that weird power. Like when he was doing the build up, they showed you him on the pads, and they were like these weird like half kung fu hammer weird punches, but they were going brap brap, and you're just like, what the fuck's that?
He throws a lot of arm shots. This is weird. Like you don't put your body behind it, but like it's similar to that other Mexican guy, I can't remember his name, but the one that fought Charlie Edwards and then had the little cheap shot when he was down. Yeah. They all kind of fight like that. It's kind of weird. Like I even think, what's that guy's name? Is his name Casemiro? Pacquiao's guy? I know he's not Mexican, but he's Filipino. He just throws bare left hand. But like I think they're all just kind of, I don't know, man. They just throw weird shots, but they must have some heavy hands. Like they just throw awkward punches, but they must have some heavy hands in it because they don't really turn into their punches, or that's not how you would teach someone how to fight or throw a punch.
But that's what I'm assuming. They go into the gym in wherever the trainer just sees that there's proper power there, and they go, right, well, all we'll do, we'll just get you in positions to land on these shots, which is exactly what happened with Warrington, right? Warrington's not gonna, he's almost like a fighter, isn't he? There's not much like skill's the wrong word. There's not much finesse to what he does. Like he's outpace, he's volume. essentially what that Mexican done, but with like 4 times the amount of pop. It was bad.
Yeah, no, it was bad. But if Warrington could box, like he'd beat that guy.
Yeah.
Like he's got to think about going in there with a rematch in another war.
Yeah.
Like, do you need that? That probably took a lot out of him already. If he did pulled out in the 4th, 5th round, whatever, he might have been alright. But to go to the 9th round, just getting pummeled like that, like, come on, man, like that can take a lot out of you, like physically,
psychologically as well, going into the rematch.
Exactly, going into the rematch, you're thinking, damn, don't get caught with that shot again.
We've all seen Rocky 3, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But like for him, like his market, like if the corner had pulled him out or the ref had stopped him in 4, his stock would have plummeted even more, probably. Right, which 100%. Is sad and wrong.
But at the end of the day, his stock would have went down more, but
he lived to fight another day.
It would have still been a rematch.
Yeah.
So everyone, it would have been all as a rematch. This is your chance to put it back. It's your chance to put it back. Let's go. Okay, you got beat up in the 4th round. We get that. He overlooked him. Come with all of that. I overlooked him. I was looking at future opponents. I'm thinking about unifying. He said, I've got a dangerous man in front of me. And I just done all the wrong things. So now in the rematch, I'm gonna come and get it, which is what is there now. So it would have been the same thing, and everyone's eyes would have been in a rematch. For example, I don't want to like skip subjects, but for example, Dylan White and Povetkin. Dylan White was winning that fight. He got knocked out cold.
Yeah.
If he doesn't fight Povetkin next, his stock goes all the way down.
Yeah, of course it does.
But because he's fighting Povetkin again, it's the same eyes, maybe even more now. Like, because he got a rematch. I was going to say, he didn't have to get back up and then get beat up again and then get back up, and he didn't have to do that. But as long as he wins the rematch, he's right back where he left off. That's what it is. It would have been the same for Warrington. As long as he wins the rematch, he's right back where he left off.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest with you, I think his stock's gone down anyway, vacating that title. But
it was a weird way. I mean, like for you finally get your world strap. Like, what point do you vacate that? Like, the only time you vacate is surely when you're either going to go up in weight for another one, or purely because of the
politics.
Cost.
If there's
the politics involved, exactly.
But that's the thing. Okay, like you said, when you move up in weight, you vacate. For me, it's like there's a handful of fighters that can vacate and still be the same people, and still be the same, the same people. Like they have the same profile and stuff. Like, for example, let's just put Floyd there. Floyd can stay at welterweight. All he wants, beat every champion and vacate every time. He's still gonna sell at every arena. Yeah. To say there's no fighter right there on Floyd's level right now. But at the same time, there's some fighters that people respect at level where it's like, even if they didn't have a title, I'm still going to watch this guy fight.
Yeah.
Whereas Josh Warrington, it's like, without the title, can he even get the fights he wants? Because let's be honest. If let's say Errol Spence, yeah, I'm not going to say Crawford because I think people are avoiding him anyway. But let's say Errol Spence vacates his titles, he's still as the big dog in the division. Like he's still going to get the Sean Porter rematch if he wants, or the Keith Thurman will still be chasing him down. He's still the name. With Warrington, you think he's still going to get a unification with guys like Gary Russell and stuff because the money's not there. The stock's not. It's not a unification fight. It's just you fighting for world title. The money's not there. You're not going to get these fights that you wanted. So that's my opinion on it. Innit? Like I said, I could be wrong.
I think it doesn't help either that Kid Galahad was his mandatory, which was it literally depends on personal opinion. Like it was such a thin decision against him, and so many people like it was almost like 51-49 like of journalism, right? They were just like, you know what I mean? It was such a small margin that he won by that doesn't help the stock, does it? Because it looks like he's almost ducking him a little bit, and it's just like, well, I don't think he is, but
he isn't, because we fought him before and beat him. But I get the fact that he wants to move on. But let's be honest, he could have held on. If he Kid Galahad won the first bid. Did that mean that the Lara fight wasn't going to go on? I don't know that. If it was going to go on, he could have still defended his title when that Lara fight and decided what he wanted to do after, because the Lara fight's still on. But if it was a case where it was like, he'd have to drop the Lara fight to then fight Kid Galahad, then I might understand it a little bit more, because it's like, yo, this is my comeback fight. Let me just have this and then whatever. But for some reason, I don't think that was the case. And Lara should be a world champion right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, there would have still been a rematch anyway. But if he was to beat him again, he'd be fighting Kid Galahad next. So I don't know. He should have actually done his thing where I sound like all the fans when they talk about trainers and stuff, but he should have waited till he was stripped. Like, okay, I'm going into this fight to defend my title. This is what I have planned to line up already. I'll fight this guy after this and we'll sort out a deal. Boom, whatever. Go in there. They say no, you can't have this fight. And it's like, you know what, take it then. Because I'm doing what I'm going to do. I'm not letting you dictate what I'm going to do. Vacate it because you lot are pressuring me or you lot strict me, whatever. That's what I think would have been, a little bit more understanding. But like you said, because of the situation now, it just looks like he's ducking Kid Galahad. And it's like, I don't think he's ducking him. I just think he wanted to do other things and fight other people. But listen, Lara's messed that up anyway, so.
Do you reckon they make him do it again in Mexico? Do you reckon Lara just goes, no, you want this rematch, you come to Mexico City? Just does him completely filth.
That is hilarious. No, if he didn't want, if there was a title on the line, he probably would have had more power to do that. But he's not a champion still. He's still a thing. So they'll do it in Leeds where the crowd's going to be packed out. Josh Rollin has the energy of all these fans shouting at him.
So what was that word you said? Crowd. Crowd.
Oh, crowd. Oh.
What's a crowd? That's a myth. To be fair, now,
Ruiz tried that shit. Remember when he won it? He's like, we're going to do it in Mexico. They're like, no, you're going to Saudi.
He's already signed. That's AJ. They've signed a big contract on all these things. You really think they're really going to let this guy get his way? They'll take him to court, man. Mexico, come here. Let me talk to you.
Listen. We're going Riyadh, okay? And I want you eating an awful lot, okay?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Listen, we'll pay for it. Okay, I didn't think it was going to cost this much, but you know what I mean. He's looking good now, Ruiz. He's looking well.
He needed to get, come back down to earth a little bit. I think he's done too much of a high winning them titles and making history, which could happen to anyone. But
yeah. I mean, you can understand it, right? He made in that one fight, he made life-changing money. Then he got the rematch, which is even more life-changing. Like he's probably good forever now, unless he's like balling out of control, which he might be. Who knows?
He's life-changed twice. I think after the loss, I think he's back down to earth now. If he'd have won a second fight, he might have gone broke. He might have just been on a man high. So listen, I'm retiring now. Eating all the munchies, all the cars, all the parties. Mexico, he was living like a king.
How loopy do you think this whole Deontay Mark Breland thing's going? Now, obviously,
spoiled it, man.
You reckon?
Yeah, man, he's doing too much, man. Like, everyone's on your side, but then you just say things like, "I'll knock out AJ." Like, come on, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
that didn't help. Bro. Right. This is like a clown car, right? You got Deontay playing the piano on his gram, like God knows. Yeah. I mean, what was that all about? Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, someone tagged me in it saying it was me.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not touching that because I don't want to get cancelled. I don't want Bants to be misconstrued as anything else. I'm going nowhere near that, right? Okay. Yeah. He was just on there playing piano.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what you doing? And then you got Mark Breland making sandcastles and like drawing shit on his stuff. Like they're off their fucking nut, a pair of them.
Yeah. They're both as bad as each other. I thought Mark Breland was just gonna come and say, "Yo, listen, I tried to save him and blah blah." But then you start saying things like he ain't fought no one who's he fought. But you was in his corner for all them fights. So why would you start saying that now? He ain't fought no one. Anyone he fought, he'd beat or something like that. And just talking a whole lot of rubbish, man. Saying like you're making it seem like you was actually against him now. Like you're making Wilder feel like I was right. Why you hating him now? Yeah. And it's like, why? Like you're that's the wrong way to go about it. Then you're saying, "Oh, I'd knock out AJ," and then you're just like, bro, you're just talking too much. You're not even a fighter no more, let alone his weight class when you was fighting. You would not knock out AJ. Like it's just, I just think they're both being silly.
It's like to Floyd, if I was 40 years younger, I'd kick your ass. Like, no, you wouldn't. Like,
yeah.
The best one still. The best one still is AB, isn't it? With Jim Gray.
Oh,
you're 3-3-1, and he's like, yeah, I'll be 7-0 against you, though. Fuck you. It's just like so uncalled for. Listen, AB's back this weekend, and I couldn't be happier.
It doesn't even mean anything. He was 7-0 against him. Like, what does that mean? Like, he said you were 3-3-1 and you lost 7 fights. Like, how does that make you feel? So, well, I'll be 7-0 against you.
I mean, that's the best.
Yeah. Okay, that's what? Still. Adrian Broner, as much of a clown as he is, I can't wait for his return. Man. That guy is too funny, man. I didn't realize how much I missed him, man. He's too hilarious, man. I've seen all the clips and that coming out now saying AB's return, AB's back this weekend, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, we need this guy back, man. He is hilarious. Even when he was buying Pacquiao, so I'm doing this for the hood. On God,
I loved it.
Like, bro,
I loved it. Like imagine the courage that you have to have after that, and just being like, "Oh, I won." No.
Yeah.
No, I got robbed here, right?
Against Pacquiao, he was probably like, "I won that fight."
Did you?
I won that fight.
Were you sitting with Adelaide Bird during that fight? Like, what the fuck?
Mate. It was so big.
The guy's hilarious.
He really is. Like,
man.
He's got a future afterwards. Like, and I don't think people understand the levels of which AB. I mean, he's a 4-weight world champion, right? Yeah. You can't be rolling with that level of bands. Did you know that number one, AB is out when I mean streets, obviously he's fucking all mouth the geezer. When he says something a little bit too far, right? We ding it out with just a bing bing bing. But we have a picture of AB as like one of the baller pictures as the thing to cover it up on YouTube. And there's a tier of sponsorship that we have as a podcast thing, which is the AB tier. He's honoured with us. He genuinely is an honoured being.
Yeah.
Love the geezer.
No, he's funny. Yeah, he's hilarious, man. He's the best, bro.
Would you other than obviously AB comes back and steals the show, hopefully it's a terribly boring show that he wins like comfortably, does very little to do anything with it, and then talks all manner of mad shit. I'm back, anyone from 135 to fucking Bridger weight, you're getting it, blah blah blah. But what do you think with Josh Kelly and David Adesanya? Whatever his name is.
I mean, listen. No, do you know what it is?
Guy.
I think when I first heard that fight, I was like, oh man, Josh Kelly's, he's moving a bit too fast. But I think as time's gone on, it's been 2018?
Yeah.
Well, let's end the 2018. Let's just say it's been like 2.5 years, I think Josh Kelly's had a lot of time to just grow in himself as a man, get his man strength and work on every mistake he's made and just improve over the years. So I feel like, do you know what's so mad? My mind's kind of changed now, man. I feel like Kelly might win, but I'm still gonna side of Avanyesin because Avanyesin's strong. Like he's strong. I've started him. I'm a middleweight. I'm telling you, he's strong, and he's gonna keep coming forward. And as much as Kelly's had time to improve, so has Avanyesin. But the difference is Avanyesin's reached his level. He's beat Shane Mosley. He's been a world champion or interim world champion. So he's reached his level. Now it's just about staying in shape and not falling backwards and declining, because obviously he is getting old, isn't it? So with Avanyesin, I feel like it's just, he's been in the game a long time. It's just keeping conditioned and, keeping that same level of professionalism. Whereas for Kelly, it's like, he's been in the game not long. He's younger, fresher. He's got a lot more to learn. With that in Booth, it was more new. It was newer to him. So it's a closer fight to me. I still think Avanyesin might win, but it's very, very close. Like where I had it like 70-30 first, it's like 55-45 now. Like towards Avanyesin.
Do you not think that like we've all seen what David does and has, and like you said, he's very strong, right? But we've kind of seen everything that he's about. We lost.
Is that a cat? Fuck.
Yeah. I was about to get a punch. Really? You with us, Denz?
Yeah. I think my AirPods died. I don't know what happened. But I'm back now. That cat's even crazy. Is that Larry's cat?
Oh, mate. It's fucking pregnant again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Loves it.
Well, congrats to your cat.
Mate, since COVID started, if she has 5 since COVID's begun in this year, that would be the 15th kitten. I just don't need it. Every time we go and get that fucking... We'll cut this out, but they get...
They're going swimming.
Listen, protein's protein.
Oh, yeah.
Protein's protein, boy. I've got a fryer and a positive attitude. Right. Anyway, back to it. Yeah. What I was saying is like David. Everyone's seen what David does and has, where Josh, you know, he's like as a British fighter goes, he's got a fucking lot of potential. You know what I mean? Like if he can put it together, he could be spectacular. But yeah, it's a tough ask though, isn't it?
100% it's a tough ask, but like I said, I just feel like maybe some of the things he does is a bit too much. If he could just minimize it and just, be a bit more like. I'm not trying to like, say he should stop being creative in the ring because it works for him clearly. But as you saw in the Robertson fight, Andrew Robertson fight, it was like no, not Andrew Robertson. Who's that guy's name? The one from New York.
One? Oh, the Philly boy on the AJ card.
Yeah. Was it Robinson? Is that his name?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson. Yeah, like when he fought him.
Yeah, when he got the draw.
When he got the draw, it was like you're doing a bit too much of the hands down head movement stuff. Like you're only tiring yourself out. If you just get a bit more composed and looked at where the shots were coming from, you're able to slip it better and maybe come back with your shot. But then he just started moving all around the place. And I don't know. I ain't seen him box since. Yeah, maybe he has boxed since, but I don't know. But I don't think I feel like he might have learned not to do that.
Yeah,
it's like 2 years to work on his stuff. So I feel like in my mind, I'm thinking he's ironed out all them creases. In my mind, he may not have, but that's why the fight's closer to me now. Because I'm like, he's ironed all them creases, and he's probably a different beast right now. Probably like stronger with his shots, physically stronger, hold his ground a bit more. He won't just move around unnecessarily. Save his energy. Like he's more of a seasoned pro in my mind. That's how I feel. I feel like if he's going to be with Adam Booth is going to show him all these tricks and all these little things just to not do things unnecessarily. That's why it's a lot closer to me. But like you said, we've seen what Evan Nesson can do. I've sparred with him, so I know what he can do firsthand. I know how strong he is. I've never sparred with Kelly, so I don't know how physically strong he is. But in my mind, if I feel like Kelly's done what I feel like he needs to do, I can see him winning. But just because I haven't yet, I'm still going to side with Evan Nesson.
Adam wanted him to fight Larry a few years back. Do you know that?
You Evan Nesson?
No. Adam Booth wanted Josh Kelly to fight Larry.
Oh, is it Larry would have pinged him?
That's why Matchroom said no.
Oh, Matchroom said no.
Yeah. Adam respect. So I did like a seminar with Adam.
Yeah.
And he asked about my world class pad work, and I was like, because I do a lot of it with my boy Larry, and he's just like, look, I he knows that I didn't go pro to give Larry a career, and he was number one, which was humiliating because I've known Larry 15 years. He completely corrected me on how I say his surname. He gave it with pure pronunciation when I said it how I say it, and he just went, "I think you mean that," and I was just like, oh, fucking hell. But no, he said like he wanted Josh to fight him as like because someone like Larry, who's such a drilled like professional, that it would have been an absolute like banger of a test for his fight. And like Adam's 100% one of those trainers that's like fighters should be tested.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I might have to cut that out, but still,
I do believe that fighters should be tested, especially when they're moving up in the ranks. It shouldn't just be thrown in there. But then that just goes to that's just more like of the your management or trainers team like to guide you the right way. Some people are just too looked after. They just fight a bunch of nobodies and start thinking they're they could be world champions. And it's like, bro, you ain't fought anybody that has fought you back yet. Now you haven't been in a 50-50 fight. And you're talking about world champion, like you're beating bums. Like in the amateurs, you'd fight someone that could potentially be a world champion, and then that's when okay, this guy's good or not. But like nowadays, like everyone's just fighting whoever they can get put in front of them. Like no one's looking for real tests. Everyone's like, no, not him. Yeah, we want a test, but not him. We want not him. That's too hard of a test. We might not pass that exam. Let's just go for that test. And like, but Adam Booth, I think the way he's moving Kelly, if he does beat Evan Nesson, then he's ready for big things. I don't think he's ready for a world title yet, though, because he's not beaten, Porter or Spence. But he could try and fight Ugas, and that might be a closer fight. But Ugas is a very good fighter. But I just feel like if he didn't fight Evan Nesson and kept fighting the guys he was putting over, it would be no use to him because mentally he wouldn't step up that gear.
Yeah,
and also too.
You say, God.
I was just going to say, it's exactly like you said too. When you stay at that level, you keep doing the thing. Like you can pull shit. There's levels to it, so you can pull off a certain shit at one level. But when you're stepping up and you try that shit again, that ain't going to work. You see it time and time again.
Exactly,
You know, so
exactly.
you got to adapt and overcome. And if you stay there, you get too comfortable with that shit.
Thank you. That's the thing. You get comfortable, man. Once you get comfortable at getting away, like I'm gonna lie to you, in sparring, I spar some people and I get away with some that shit. I get away with things that you're thinking you should not be doing that because that is not how you box. You know what I'm saying? Say that. It's just that I do some things that it's like, no, you can get knocked out there and that. I get away with it because of the level of people I'm sparring. But sometimes some other people come in now and I gotta be switched on a bit more. And it's like, okay, you can't do that now. You can't afford to even look away by accident. You gotta be on the ball. You can still do certain things, you can still be creative, but you gotta be a bit more switched on and don't burn unnecessary energy. This person might try and weigh you down first or whatever. So I feel like if Kelly fought Larry, that would have been a very good test for him. Money might not have passed because Larry can box. Larry, yeah. The thing is, I don't know Josh and I haven't been in the ring with him. So saying this might, I'm obviously being biased in it.
Yeah, well, it's part of it though, right? Because it's
exactly.
Whatever.
So I know Larry in it, yeah. But Larry's the type of guy. He needs about 30 seconds, maybe less, to figure you out.
Yeah.
To figure you out. If you're not being dirty and rough and you're just boxing neat, that's the worst thing you can do against Larry. Don't try and box Larry. Larry's one of the cleanest boxers I've been in the ring with. Like I swear that. Like unless you're gonna rough him up, forget about it. Once Larry drops his hands, it means he's clocked you. It means he's got your number. Don't let Larry drop his hands on you. If Larry drops his hands, it means okay, I got you now. I know what to do. I swear down. Like Larry's. So I feel like with Josh Kelly, he would have been doing all of that. Then Larry would have figured him out, figured out his timing, figured out when to throw the shot, and he would have just clocked him. He would have clocked his game. He would have clocked. Especially if you don't switch up with Larry, you either got to be rough with him or keep switching what you're doing. Once he reads you, he knows what you're doing. He knows your timing. He knows your reach. He knows when you're going to move left, when you're going to move right. He knows everything. The guy's a genius in there. I swear down, he's a genius. Yeah. I don't like sparring him, but I love sparring him because I know I'm always going to learn, but I know I'm going to get beat up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and says,
imagine paying for it.
Imagine paying. Nah, I'm taking money back. I'm charging him.
Yeah. It's long. I want him to get my dream for him is like to get one of these like late cancellation big fights where he's kind of staying ready and he just completely turns over a decent sized name, gets a couple of opportunities, fucks off, and then becomes like the trainer that I think that he will become. Will be that's what I want for him personally as my friend. You know what I mean?
And I think that can happen, him getting one of them opportunities.
Yeah.
And one time Larry came in the gym because, Larry has these moments where he just feels like he can live without boxing. So he just wanted to retire. And then he came back in the gym and he was just hopping up with the coaches. And I was like, all right, this guy would be a serious coach. The way he breaks things down, he knows what he's talking about. He knows the game in and out. And you can learn so much of him. And then obviously he came back and said, nah, he wants to fight. And then, proceeded to beat us up. But it is what it is.
Mate, he's retired and unretired formally, I think, 3 times in the time that I've known him.
Yeah.
He retired once before he went pro. You know what I mean? Like, and then he told you some mad story about fucking his grandma and his grandma. Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, sick.
He loves it.
Cheers, I think the plan for Josh though, if he gets past David, then because I can't say his surname for some reason, I don't know what it is. That they line him up with Conor Benn, isn't it? And that's what they're already banging on about.
Yeah, line him up with Conor Benn. I think that'd be a good fight. But Conor Benn's still got to get past Sammy Vargas. We don't know what level Conor Benn's at yet. If we're being honest, the guy he just fought last. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Formella.
Yeah.
Tough.
His record was good. Only lost. Yeah, tough. But boxing was listen, Sean Porter outboxed him. Come on, man. Sean Porter's not a boxer.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's how I see things. I see things as like, and I feel like that's what Warrington tried to do. Warrington tried to outbox Lara and feel like he could box too, and it didn't work. But obviously, Formella clearly he's not a puncher. Not the best boxer technically. So
I think he was the first global champion as well. Formella, the new belt that they've got.
WBO Global or whatever.
Yeah. He was the first global champion. Sure. Okay.
Fair enough. But
I'm just saying, like, what's a global champion? Is a global champion more than a world champion? Because the world's a globe.
That's what confuses me. It's like global sounds bigger than the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same as what, I don't know. It's an interesting name for it. They really should have come up with a different fucking name for that shit.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't know why they do it. They done it like that because I don't even think global is bigger than the interim. If there is an interim with the WBO, but
there's not. There's just that they do global as a step, as like it's like the other ones where they got that WBC silver. You got the interim champion in the WBA. The IBF, I think, is the only one that doesn't have, and the IBO doesn't have other belts.
That's a Liberty doing the whole silver thing. It's like an anniversary thing. It's like, come on now. Like, how much money
you gotta go for? Yeah, exactly. It's like they just adding loads of belts. But I think you're right. IBF is the only one that hasn't got.
Yeah, IBF and IBO. Yeah.
Yeah, and IBO just WBA have the WBA interim, WBA regular, WBA
super
world, and
gold.
WBA gold. That's 4.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So if I win any one of those 4, I'm a world champion. That's mad. And then WBO got WBO world.
They got world and global. And then the WBC has got WBC silver. Then they've got the franchise one, and
WBC
then
diamond.
If you I think I don't think diamond's like one you can win though, is it? I think that's like a special event one.
They'll put it up. It's like the frontline belt they did for Tyson and Jones. Sure. Like they'll make a diamond. The Aztec belt. Remember they did that for the Mexican.
I do think diamond's one you can win. You know, because I think they offered that to Fury and White before Fury got the second Wilder fight.
Wasn't that before? I think that was before they instilled the franchise.
Yeah, that before the franchise.
And then I think now it's kind of like a bit into It's like diamond is like when you're that level above. It's like Floyd. You know how they do the champion emeritus or whatever, where you can retire, come back, and you're the champ anyway. Yeah. They've got
The best one is the eternal champion, WBC eternal champion. When you've made 10 defenses, you become the eternal champion.
Why are you lying?
Fact.
I know that one. Yeah.
Fact.
I don't know.
Like there's only ever been one. I think it's like Klitschko is the only one to ever get it. But there is another one. Sure.
I don't understand why they do it. Did you see that thing that Boxrec released the other day?
Which one?
With all the titles. It said, if you need clearance on all the world titles, we have all of it here in the list. And I swear down, there are a load of titles, world titles, whatever. Like, I was so baffled. I was like, wait, what is going on here? Mm-hmm. There's got to be about like, I don't know, like more than 10 world titles altogether.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So like,
crazy.
Like AJ is WBA super champion. You got like, you can have super champion and world champion fighting 2 different people on the same night on different events somewhere else on the planet. And they're both claiming to be the WBA world champion. And it's just like, well, one of you is, but I'm not sure.
Like when Tio beat Loma and they're like, you're not undisputed. Haney's got the WBC. It's like, oh, for fuck's
sake. And like, even when Canelo beat Fielding, they were just like, oh, you're not really you're not really a free weight world champion or a 4-weight world champion, whatever, because you got the regular belt, that's not the super belt. And blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's mad because when Rocky Fielding won the regular belt, he's the world champion. So does it just depend who wins it? To why you're world champion, like it's just crazy. But then again, it makes sense because you can't unify with a regular belt. So
no,
I guess any belt you can't unify with, then you might as well you're not a world champion with that belt. That's how I see it anyway.
It's a bit rude though, isn't it? Because like any belt, you'd be fucking hyped to 100%. Get any strap. Like you got the Lonsdale belt, which is one of the most beautiful of them. But you know, let's be honest, you're gonna put that Lonsdale maybe in the bin if you got a world title one. Like if they said if they said to you, Denzel, you're only like you've got your world title or your Lonsdale, you're only ever allowed to be seen with one of them. Let's be honest.
Yeah, obviously the world title means a lot more. You feel me? But
obviously,
if we're gonna get a world title, and then people are gonna say, you're not a world champion with that. like you said, like, are you taking them? Like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I've done to get this? Like, come on, man.
Exactly. And that was another one that I love AB for when they were like bitching him out about when he won 3-weight or something like that.
Yeah,
they're having a dig at him. They're like, and he's like, listen, have you ever won? Do you know what it takes to get even one of these? Well, I tell you, dude,
100%.
learn and never say that to a fighter again. I was like, go on, AB, tell these motherfuckers.
Yeah. That's one of the best things he said, aside from like his funny stuff. Because he was like, the guy was like, full-weight world champion. Surely that's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Full-weight world champion. He's like, no. Do you know what it takes to get one of those? Talking about four weights. Four weights. You see what happens to people when they go up in weight. Linares went up in weight for one round, for one fight, and got knocked out in a round. Like, come on, like, you don't just go up in weight and then like think it's all good, and then he went back down. How many fighters have gone up in weight? Like Kell Brook went up in weight, smashed by Golovkin.
That was wild though, wasn't it? That was yeah, sure. That was a bad move.
They were comparing him to Pacquiao. Like, well, that's 8, like, but that is the most in history. Like, why you fucking say like 4 8 shit? Fuck off.
100%. And how long has Pacquiao been boxing? I will be a professional for compared to Adrian Broner for me. And he came from such a lighter weight class. It's easier to go that far because you're still not getting that big. Whereas if Adrian Broner was to end up doing eight weight classes, he'd have to go up to cruiser. And now they're something really wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's some James Toney shit, isn't it?
All right then. And you're coming from what? 130 did he start off at?
Yeah, 130.
Although to be fair, I think he kicks around at cruiserweight in between fights.
Yeah, Amen. He does though. But
Amen.
He ain't fighting like that. He ain't fighting. The guy. He ain't even got a neck for extra bit of height.
I love it.
He's down it. I
love it. Do you remember when he was in Court in the summer? In Court in the summer, and he was just spherical.
Brown.
Just perfect sphere, innit? It's like he's nicked a Swiss ball.
This guy's enjoying life. Whatever he's doing, whatever he's eating, I need to eat. He's enjoying life.
It's like Maidana straight after Floyd. Fuck
yeah.
Just shooting guns, smoking cigars, and drinking whiskey.
Eating steak, getting huge.
He's thinking $1 million twice in Argentina. Hey,
that's a lot of pesos.
That goes a long way. That.
A lot of pesos.
Jeez. Let me run you through a hypothetical, right? So, you win your world title, yeah?
Not hypothetical, but go
on.
No.
This is yeah. Right, but you have to take it to the gram like Charlo did to actually get your physical belt, because for some reason they just haven't dispatched the belt yet. Are you phoning them up like a fucking pissed off person talking to Amazon? Because I don't think he's still got his belt, you know. And then there was that one, Michaela Mayer. Russ was telling, like, sometimes they do the belts proper dirty. Like, the fighter has to borrow the other fighter's belt to go home with it to give it the thing and then ship it back. How mad are you going to go when your belt doesn't turn up when you've won it?
No, I'll be fuming. It has to turn up. I'm going mad.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I need to stop with this. I'm trying to wear this outside. Give me my shit. Get my belt, man. What's going on? But I'll probably be calm. I'll be calm a bit. Then after I'll be like, no, you gotta take the piss now, man.
Yeah.
I'll probably be mad. But imagine that, going through all that hard work. All you need to do is send me the belt. All you need to just send me the belt. I didn't even know that Charlo and Michaela Mayer
Mayer literally, and she won it in lockdown, so there was no crowd. Like this crowning achievement. There's 5 people going like this, and they couldn't even give her a belt. It's like,
oh, come on, man.
I don't think Charlo's still not got his IBF belt.
Is it?
Yeah. You know that, and they charge you $2,000 for them a pop as well, you know.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're chatting. I just see you ring.
Nope. Being deadly serious. I'm telling you, we have been balls deep in research on this shit. I know how much the refs get paid at the minute. Right?
Well, that's crazy.
$2,000 for the belt.
On paper.
Yeah, on paper. Oh, we've had the odd little gambling whoosh.
No, that's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It all gets whipped into the fees. Sure, that's fun, isn't it? You might get one of those like those wrist straps. Yeah.
Oh, WBC are giving them. WBC, listen, they might as well just start a clothing line because the way they're moving, they are branding. They got the watches
out of control, aren't they?
Listen,
the trainer towel belt.
Yeah, they got the trainer belts. They got belts for every occasion. They have a belt. They had a special belt for Golovkin Pacquiao. Golovkin Pacquiao. Golovkin Canelo.
Yep.
Yeah. The Cinco de Mayo belt, weren't it?
The Cinco de Mayo belt. They had a belt for Tyson Fury versus Rollin when he fought on the day of Cinco de Mayo. Some Mayoritarian belt, whatever, the snake thing.
Didn't they give a belt to Jake Paul?
I'm just about to say that they got a YouTube belt. They got a YouTube belt. I think they gave one to Jake Paul, and I think what's that guy's name? I think KSI's got one as well, on it.
Who?
KSI.
KSI's probably got one, yeah.
Probably because it was on the same night, but I definitely know because Jake Paul always wears it around.
And it's mad, and it's like
as you would.
Everyone loves the WBC so much, yeah. And I'm not saying I don't. I love WBC, and I think it's one of the best belts out there. All the belts are good, but they just do the most. Like everything everyone's complaining about is single-handedly coming from WBC. The extra weight they done, the belts they have, like the franchise, the unification. Like right now we've got issues with Teofimo and Devin Haney because it's like one saying I'm unified, other one saying I'm not. I'm more champion. Like, it's crazy. Like it's like, can you unify with the franchise or not? And if you can, then that means the world surely don't mean anything because you can't unify both belts.
Yeah, but they don't come out and say anything. That's the problem, right? So, like, if Suleiman come out and said, well, you won this off of Loma, who won it off of Linares, I think he got his from, and we made him franchise champ because essentially when you become franchise champ, to me, that puts you a level above everyone else because you're kind of not forced to do your mandatories. So that says to me that you're the legitimate champ. They're the one that they want you to have the belt. The rest can deal with it.
They're the ones that you bring in the cash. That's when you become a franchise champ. It's like Canelo, Wilder, Loma. Then we want you to have the belt because we want people buying you. Anyone else, go fuck yourself. Like you could have one of these other ones.
Do you know what's so mad? Because who was the first franchise champ? Was it Canelo?
Good question. It's probably, I don't know actually.
It was Canelo or Wilder. I know Wilder was oddly early.
No, they were going to make Wilder franchise, and he's like, no, I don't want that. I want to fight Fury or something like that. So, because they're going to make Fury and Dylan White, because I think because he was mandatory. But whatever it was, I remember them saying you can't lose the franchise. Yeah, that was the argument with it.
Mm.
So
that's
how
madness.
Is it that? That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. So how is it that Teofimo was beating Lomachenko and now he's the franchise champion? These times, at first, you couldn't lose it. Like whether you win or lose or draw, you're franchise champion forever. Like it's just a title. It's not a belt. It's just a title. Like you're our franchise champion. We want you to be, our franchise champion. So when you say WBC, these are the guys that you look to. And now all of a sudden he's nothing. Like it's crazy. So what does the belt actually mean? Can you win it? Can you not win it? Do they have mandatories? Does it not? It's just messed up a whole load of things. But everyone just loves the belt so much, so they get away with everything. But I just think right now the best belt to win, no confusion, is the IBF because no one's telling you nothing. The WBO for some reason the global's up there. So like obviously like there's fighters that are like global champions and they're so basically Chris Congo as well, my guy. That's my guy. He's global champion.
He's global champ, yeah, but I think that ranks below the world champion.
All right, so he should be ranked in the UK #1 in the UK then. Like the Kelly and all of them guys shouldn't be ranked above him because he's essentially a version of a world champion.
Yeah, under that body, but I think like the domestic body, he probably won't be. He'd be top 10, wouldn't he? But I don't think because it's just that one body. I don't think if you look at like WBC, WBA, and IBF, he's not going to be like top flight. But I think that puts him at number. I think that almost puts him in high standing for getting a shot for the WBO. I guess. Who knows?
Oh, for sure, it would have to, right?
Otherwise, there's simply no.
You'd
point
think so. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. But then he won that in a good fight, but it was in Eddie's Garden, and it wasn't like a, no disrespect, it wasn't a massive fight. So if you're gonna get a secondary world title, you would think it would be a bigger fight than that, right?
Yeah, but he fought the champion, so that was the champion.
Fact. No. This is not dismissive of him. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is the tough thing about that situation because you're never ever. I mean, it's the fact that it's called a global champion. It's almost better for it to be like the interim world title.
Yeah, WBO interim was that. Matt's on him and that.
All them belts are like UFC when they brought in the BMF, baddest motherfucker belt, and it's like, but then Masvidal won it, but then he lost his next fight. It's like, well, surely if you beat the baddest motherfucker, you're the baddest motherfucker.
Yeah, Then now it's like, okay, no, it's cancelled now. Sorry, no. Don't worry about it.
We only wanted one of these guys to get it. Forget it.
I like that Wonder Boy made his own one, which was the nicest mother fudger, wasn't it? He done his own version of it because he's like a good Christian lad. That's for G's. That's for G's. Denzel, I think we should wrap this up because it's getting very late and I'm quite tired. You tired? Or is it just me?
I've had my midday nap. I'm out.
Yeah. He's had a day off because his film trailers launched today. Do you know these? He's in? Yeah. He's in the new Mortal Kombat film. Yeah.
It's on the gram. Yeah, Mortal Kombat trailer dropped today. Yeah. It's only a split second of me getting fucking kicked across the cage.
Shit, that is sick. I would have posted like, that's my cat.
I'll send it to you in a minute. Yeah. He's big time now. Like this is the only reason I do this with him because I'm just hanging on to them coattails. just getting dragged into the lower middle.
Right. That's sick though.
Let's have a little chat when we know a little bit further about this whole Cash situation. Worst comes to worst, you just pick up the Commonwealth. Bothered. Like someone's got to have that belt.
Just collecting them like Pokemon.
Champ, yeah.
Strap up.
Come on, that's how we're doing it. This year.
Yeah, strap season. Geezer, a pleasure as always. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much, brother.
Later, bro.
Talk to you, man.
Bye.
Take care, man.
Cool.